somewhere in the Bahamas could be testified to by another doctor.
That's correct.
I know,
Now,
Stewie. If
with
you look up
regards
there,
to
it
the
should say
record we
something about
saw
how you can
here,
restrain it, how you could do
and
it.
is it Dr.
Jordan.
Jordan? Was there anything missing in your review of those records in terms of record keeping or anything
Ain't
like that?
nothing came through yet, but
No, but we only took a
Hold
few
on, I'm about to
photos
take a
at the
picture of
time of
it.
autopsy. At that time, they used Polaroids or they used film and cameras. And so we had few photos
Are you on your
of
phone?
the body
yeah,
itself. And so
Oh yeah, it's gonna be hard
consequently,
to do it
the
on your
crime
phone.
scene
Never mind.
analyst photos
that's
were
probably yeah.
If it's on the
helpful for
computer, yeah.
being able to come to determination in
But
addition to the reports.
if you
Right.
text
So
me,
you're the way we're
hold
able to
on, I know
explain.
what to do. I'm gonna make a
It's not
post on
always
YouTube
easy to
and
get where
tag
you
you.
want to go, but Sinclair's DinoPay mobile app
Forgot I
makes it
can tag
easy
you
to
on
pay
YouTube.
and save along the way. Because you'll save
Can you
15 cents
repost
or
on
more per
YouTube?
gallon every time you
hmm
fill up and pay with DinoPay and
Okay.
Mobile Advantage. Download DinoPay today.
Dr. Jordan's records or record keeping that would have indicated to you something that should have been done
All right,
differently
y'all
with
got me
regards
and
to Dr.
Stewie. We're
Jordan's
covering
record.
this Tupac
No,
trial,
nothing that I
man,
could
or
see in
well
my
Keefe
review.
D
Okay,
trial,
and
but it's a
fair enough
Tupac
to say
murder
though, there
trial.
you're not really there to critique his work as much as it is to relay what you read in the record to a jury, like the people that we have here today.
That's fair.
Um, and once again, a critical review of someone's record is a little bit different compared to just reading what was done and then relaying that to a jury.
Yes.
Okay, what is the difference?
I think the scrutiny that you can utilize in those kind of details may be something that becomes relevant for a particular case.
Right. So, for instance, if there was some issue, some dispute over whether or not he was given adequate medical treatment, that would be something for another day, for another topic, and another type of review, right?
That would be for somebody that actually does treatment of bodies. I'm a forensic pathologist, so I'm a medical examiner, so I review people after they've died. So that would be treatment related to whomever does that type of treatment.
Now, would you have been able to do this type of review if Dr. Jordan had not kept an adequate record of his efforts?
It depends on what you have available for review.
Say, for instance, there's no record at all. He doesn't do a record. He does some work, but you don't have anything other than maybe the pictures in this case. Would that be enough of a review for you?
Photographs can be very helpful in terms of determining what happened to the body, and then in terms of where the locations of injuries are, based on my knowledge of anatomy in the body, I can definitely generate opinions based on that.
Sure, but with regards to say his work in general, outside of the fact that you could point out location of where there's entry and exit wounds, for instance, from a bullet, outside of that, would you be able to tell this jury exactly what Dr. Jordan had done with regards to his autopsy?
What he did for his exact procedures, no.
Okay. And in the event that you don't even have that, say for instance, you're coming in here today, and the question is, well, did Tupac Shakur die of bullet wounds? Would that be something that you could just tell a jury like this without even looking at a record or photographs?
We would need some kind of record in order for me to be able to generate an opinion, or some kind of photographs for me to be able to generate an opinion.
And fair to say
She
that
said you
once
ain't about
again,
to
that
catch me
your
saying
line of
nothing.
work, record keeping,
Yeah,
record
so I
writing
need
is
something
critical to
She said,
generate
the
have me
integrity of
saying
what
nothing.
he
Yeah,
is.
she said everything I'm gonna say gonna be accurate. Goddamn it.
Yes.
No further questions, Jeff. Thank you.
Any redirect, Mr. Joppa?
Man, Mr. Stamp suggested, I just want to make it clear, you're not regurgitating Dr. Jordan's opinions. You've formulated your own opinions as the cause of matter of death.
That is correct.
Thank you. That's clear.
One final question based on what you're talking about. And fair to say, though, in order for you to do that, you have to rely on Dr. Jordan's documentation of what he did.
I relied on his documentation as well as the other documentation that I talked about, which was medical records as well as photographs.
Thank you. No further questions.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, any questions for this witness? We have one more that we're waiting for. Can I have the parties approach?
The boy doing all that damn talking in them interviews, man.
And this is why we even here, bro. Think about this nigga never did an interview or wrote that dumbass book, man.
Now my nigga trying to say he got bribed to do everything and say everything.
Yeah, he didn't write the book. And that's smart to say, but it's like, nigga, you did too many interviews along with
And it's smart to say until we got to re-examine that in court.
that.
You know what I'm saying? And shit got to corroborate. So niggas ain't listening to that. Oh, I got paid to do this. I got paid to do that. And the evidence coming through.
Were there any wounds to the head that you or Dr. Jordan observed or noted?
No, there were not.
And then were all the bullets found of the same
So
caliber?
she's the examiner.
I don't know
The
what the
medical
caliber
examiner.
of the other bullet was.
I
The
wonder
one who
who's
covered
next
the
because they hadn't
surgery.
already got Reggie out the way
State any follow-up based on those questions?
and Mob James.
Do you even know what the caliber of the bullet was that was covered in autopsy?
No, I don't know this caliber.
Is that something that is not in your realm of determining?
That's correct.
Thank you.
Mr. Sam?
Doctor, I'm assuming you're probably going to say I don't know, but are you aware that if any Metropolitan Police officer or expert came forward to take a look at those fragments that we're looking at now, or any other fragments that were recovered from the body?
No, I don't know.
You don't know that.
I don't know whether or not somebody did that.
All right, thank you. No further questions.
Okay, thank you for being with us, Dr. Gavin. You are excused.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. He gone, Stewie. It might start spicing up.
And our next witness.
Just before we call our next witness, I have in my hand State's Proposed Exhibit number 59, which is a certified copy of Marion Should Knight's medical records from UMC that night.
They said something about
Any
that boy
objections to
Mary,
the
and you
admission
heard
of
him.
those records?
Yeah, I heard that they wondering about Marion's medical records.
Admitted?
I apologize, I don't know his name, but he is the custodian of records for MGM surveillance.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
MGM surveillance.
Now, see, that's tricky because do you think they'll have surveillance from 30 years ago?
Yeah, they put the Tupac shits in like an archive. Now,
Oh yeah,
do
no,
they
for
have-
sure. Yeah,
Do
that
they
that
have
that.
footage? Now, do they have footage just laying around from 30 years ago? No, they don't. But from
But
that
that
night,
footage, right,
they got that.
right.
You do solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give in this section shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. You may be seated. May I please have you state and spell your first and last name for the record?
Michael Ingram, Michael.
He wasn't the director back then. He couldn't have been.
Couldn't have been. He looked way too young.
Nigga would have been 9 years old.
Sir, how are you employed?
I work as an investigator for MGM Resorts.
What area at MGM Resorts do you have a certain job responsibility?
I have responsibility over surveillance and security surveillance and investigations.
Were you requested to come here to authenticate some video that was collected well back in 1996 from the MGM?
Yes, I was.
And have you had a chance to see any of that surveillance?
Yes, I have.
Did MGM keep a copy as well?
Yes, they have.
Okay, so you reviewed that.
Yes.
Judge, I have in my hand State's Proposed Exhibit number 115, which is that video right offering.
Any objections?
No objection. Your Honor.
Okay, that'll be admitted.
So I have three different camera views, three different files, I'll call it, that we're going to talk about. But back in 1996, can you describe the type of surveillance system we're looking at? Like, how is it? What medium was it originally recorded on?
At that time, it was recorded on VHS.
And did MGM reuse?
They about to pull out
tapes
VHS tapes.
Yes.
And so when you reuse tape, did you lose quality each time you kind of reused it over and over again?
Yes, the quality deteriorated.
So unlike today that's digital, some of these views that we're going to watch, it's going to be pretty hard to facially identify anybody. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So I want to start with,
They be setting them up with crazy questions. Okay, so
Yeah, for sure, right? You see how they did that? So it's gonna be hard to see anybody's face for real, correct?
yeah, after letting them know he done taped over it. Okay, so the footage isn't as clear as before, right? All right, cool. Crazy setup.
Crazy setup, bruh.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it.
No.
Just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44.
There's two blues. Oh, this one?
yes, there you go.
My nigga's so concerned, man. I feel him.
I was just about to say, I ain't gonna lie, bro. Look worried like a motherfucker.
He
I'll
thinking
show you
about
the
what
station
Mob
post
James was saying yesterday. Well, man, I can't say nothing to get this man to go to prison now. It's like Mob James, you ain't supposed to say that.
Currently, the way the MGM Grand
Because you
looks,
kind of answered the question, you know?
Right, without answering, right.
General layout of the casino or the hotel, yes, it's the names have changed and stuff, but the property is the same.
so we don't know if this is from 1996 or if it's from 2002, 2010, when in the last 30 years, but generally the layout's been the same.
Correct.
Put this up, ladies and gentlemen, the jury.
If I could,
Oh, I moved a bit more.
before we move to mid, can I just ask a couple more questions of this witness with regards to this?
You'd like to order on this issue? You may.
Sir, with regards to the photograph that's been marked as proposed state exhibit 144, can you tell me if you can read the locations that are on that particular map?
I can read
I'm trying to see what they're trying to show.
most of them. There's one that's a little fuzzy to me.
Sure. In terms of your review of the surveillance video from the MGM, fair to say that what we're about to see would indicate where the camera location was, including the name of the area that would correlate with what you have out there on the map?
As a general rule, yes.
Okay, thank you. We'll have no further questions.
Any objection then to
No
the admission of it? It'll be admitted. State, you may proceed.
Two areas of this I want to talk to you about before we show the video.
Are they going to show us the video?
Maybe more than that.
Right.
They,
So I'm trying to say.
Generally speaking,
they are. They're showing us the map.
Events like the Tyson-Selden fight, where would that have occurred at?
The MGM Grand Garden, which is located at the top of the screen.
Up here. Okay. We have an elevator view that we're going to see. Is that located on this?
There's
Definitely was
in the
wondering
middle
if they
of
was gonna show
the
us the
screen.
shit.
There's three small boxes. Those right here. Yes, those are the elevator core for the MGM Grand.
And then if there's a camera that's going to say food court, that's kind of walking, that's looking down a long hallway. Which hallway are we looking at?
The white box. Yeah, you're going to be following that basically to the Grand Garden Arena.
So when you come out of this box, you can either come down here or across the casino, essentially.
Correct.
So now I'm going to start with, if we can go back to me.
This shit crazy.
Pause
30
here for
years
just a
later,
second.
bro.
It's weird when you really
This
think
says
about
food
it.
court.
They did it 30 years later. It's wild.
So
Bro, like I was 7 years old when Tupac died, bro.
do you know
Oh
anywhere
shit,
where
they're showing
we
the
are on
footage.
this white corridor?
Oh.
Or could it be anywhere on that white corridor?
Specifically, I couldn't tell you exactly.
And this
where
gotta,
along
so
that,
look, Stewie, this gotta
white
be
corridor
better
you
than
are, but
any
you're
footage
along
we've seen because it's coming directly from the director of security and shit.
Yeah. That's fucking wild, bro.
And I'm going to stop it. Oh, maybe a little farther.
Because that's Orlando with the
Right
jersey on.
here, we're going to see in some of our other
With that- yeah,
videos
with that,
wearing Dan
with that
Marino.
Miami- that Dan
playing
Marino.
Dolphins jersey. You probably know that, but for ladies and gentlemen of the jury, that's the person that we're trying to follow. Is that accurate? Or do you know?
I do not know.
Okay. Now we have another camera view of this long hallway From this, can you tell generally where in that hallway it is, or did once again we're just somewhere on that white hallway?
Somewhere along that white hallway.
And oh, he just flashed.
Oh, they got all the footage
That-
following niggas.
Yeah, I don't know if niggas ever seen this
Let me
much
stop
in-depth
here.
footage before.
On
This is
these
exclusive.
VHS tapes,
We only seen
cameras
that one
would
little
flash
the brawl.
between
That's it.
different hallways.
That technology was in effect during that time frame.
Called multiplex back in those days.
Correct.
So sometimes we jump from camera view to camera view, trying to capture what we're trying to capture.
Correct.
We can see the 13 on this jersey right here with the gentleman walking behind him.
They tried to say that's Keefe D behind him or so.
Is that what they're saying?
Now I'm going to take you to
Well, they keep trying to
115B.
get everybody to zoom in on Orlando.
See, right.
And then
Obviously,
talk
they're
about
trying to
whoever-
get them together.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Oh, that nigga's controlling the footage up there. The nigga on the stand got control of the
All right,
shit.
we're
You
going to
see
use a
him?
different program so we don't
You
watch
kind
it
of can see his
sideways.
screen clicking. He's clicking shit.
And I'll turn my volume off because there's no volume. Now this is that elevator core that we saw. Please switch over. Yeah.
They finna break down each molecule of the goddamn footage.
For sure.
So as opposed to those other views that were somewhere in here,
Mm-hmm.
now we're down in the middle of these four, and there's a tree in the middle of these four.
Correct.
Is that tree still there?
No.
And unlike the other camera, this one is a movable camera that goes back and forth.
Correct.
Go back to you.
Yeah. So this one starts at 2043 or so, and I'm going to jump forward to about 2047. This is just people walking through that elevator area, correct?
Correct.
Man, niggas never seen this much of the damn of this fucking part right here.
No, because they didn't show us all this. They never,
Close
you know. The only thing they
Started
showed
at
us was the
2046,
brawl.
33.
That's it. They didn't follow these niggas all through the casino. See, now look, I am kind of confused about something though still.
What?
So I thought they would have just the fight footage. So you mean to tell me they got every angle and every view from that night?
That's what I'm saying. For them to still have that 30 years later, it's like you said, they must have had this shit in the vault somewhere. Because I find it hard to believe they just got a regular Sunday's surveillance still somewhere from 30 years ago.
Yeah, nigga can't just be like, yeah, I heard my grandma was there. I just want to see the footage of her enjoying her birthday from that night. They don't got that for you. You can't get footage. And I'm thinking even 10 years ago, they probably don't got no footage. So 30.
Shit, a lot of places don't really got surveillance on deck from like a year ago these days.
You're right, they don't. Let alone, well, now motherfuckers got clouds, so they might have some shit from like.
That's true.
But if you just got like a basic system, you ain't finna have no surveillance or nothing from 30 years ago. Niggas got 30-year-old surveillance is wild.
Wow, bro, I never seen no shit like this. in depth too, like really just letting it play.
But this, see, the thing is, this shit's in like 280p though.
That's a fact.
Yeah, it's like 280p.
I think it said 280p. What?
Look at it. It's really like 280p.
For sure. It looked like it was recorded on a calculator.
So they keep showing this little clip right here, but I'm not seeing what we supposed to see. That wasn't Tupac and them walking through. It wasn't. I didn't see them walking through either. Keep showing us this. Okay. Oh, nope. That's nobody. And they try to say the nigga in the white hat or that hat right there. No, that was a regular nigga, man. Just passing through.
Yeah, because I'm looking for that jersey.
Whoever that little girl is, she's 35 right now, and she can see footage of her playing right now. She want to see footage of herself playing when she was 5, 6 years old. That's crazy. They got all this.
That's crazy.
You know, hella people's about to be coming out like, oh, that was me in that footage because they never. This footage is new.
Right. So they're like, I had no idea.
Stop it just here for a second to orient everybody. So
Yeah,
the
let us know what you show.
camera, is it being operated manually by a cameraman so he can stop it on something that he's looking at?
He can stop it at a location, but that movement that you saw was just the camera in rotation, just scanning the area.
But if it now stops and focuses on someone, there's someone in the control room that is able to stop and go, hey, something's going on.
Yes.
There we go.
There it is. The camera got it panned off though.
Right.
That's some sugar in them. You see that?
Uh-huh.
That Suge right there, Suge and Pac and them just went that way. That white man right there been telling everybody for years how he seen this fight, and now he gets to prove it.
Now he get the it's a fact. He get to prove I told you I was there for that damn fight.
Somebody nosy as hell done ran with their baby that way. Fucking wow, dude. You see him?
Right. What the fuck, man?
Everybody going to where they heard Pac was. Look.
Right. Niggas is running over there.
Everybody, look. It's a scurry to get in that area. Now they should have panned it the other way because we're nope, it's already dispersed. So we don't even see what happened with the other with Orlando and them.
Right.
Yeah, they're giving niggas the angle you.
The
ain't
gentlemen
never
in
seen.
white shirts, are they security guards, and the gentlemen in tan shirts, Metro Police?
Now, Stewie, I'm not
Yes, sir.
understanding the needing to all gather right here because everybody's gone. So why are you guys?
Right.
They didn't move through.
Right.
Why they
Well, niggas
gathering
are
right
out
here?
here.
Everybody gathered where it already happened at.
They ain't trying to pursue shit.
Nah. I mean, they just told the cops something, and now they going that way. It look like, but it's kind of too late. You guys have waited. They might even have, man. They might. This might get really crazy, Stewie. They may have footage Pac and Suge leaving the
Once
spot.
again, it
Oh,
very
there
much
go bro
shows
right there.
meeting wearing that
Oh,
13 merino shirt.
yeah.
Yes,
But
sir.
man, they ain't never showed the aftermath, bro. Looking at the date and shit, that's crazy. September 7th. Like just knowing that's.
That's what I'm saying, nigga. I had just turned 7 when this shit happened.
Yeah, nigga, days prior.
Yeah, literally.
Okay, so I'm thinking, Stu, they're about to have footage out of these niggas leaving the casino and everything, bro.
They got to like, cause hold on, okay, that's a cop. Cause I'm looking for any bald head looking nigga. Like, where is this nigga at?
Now, what's the name? May already be in the van. You don't remember it? He said as soon as it happened, they went. He went and got in the van, and then he went and
Oh,
got because he had to go get the gun. Remember?
and see, but you all know what? That's low key even worse if he's not there when this is happening because that corroborates his own story.
Damn. What? Hold on. They might show him though. They might show him. I ain't see him yet. So Orlando's right there. It looked like a couple of his niggas is trying to get over there. Who's that? Look, you see the back corner to the left of Orlando? Is that
Yeah,
him?
y'all see a couple bald
Yup.
head niggas
I
over
think I
there.
think that may
That
be
might be
him.
bruh. Yeah, that might be bruh.
And it would make sense. You look, you see it. They look. They zooming in right there. That's him.
Yeah,
That's him. They done zoomed in on the nigga. Look, is he out of there?
he said, "Yep, come on."
I thought that was Michael Jordan right there. You see him with the Hennessy?
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Man, this is crazy. This is some exclusive shit.
Yeah, they got it to where they really they got all the fucking footage, bro. They never showed this.
Yeah, I've never seen this much in-depth footage before this night.
Hey, Orlando's out of there now.
2055 or so. And then our final view, this may seem somewhat obvious, but I'm going to give you this and you watch the cameras. After we're done, I'm going to ask you generally where those people that we see um, leaving the area of the elevator after the fight, where they go. This is what you can see. So is that the main casino floor outside the
Yo,
elevator? Correct.
was about to have you remove the background for me, but I was able to. Stu was able to do it. Watching this Tupac trial, gang. Yep.
That's Pocket is getting out of there.
All right, bet. Oh, they just showed Pac getting out of there. Oh, yeah.
That's Pocket and getting out of there.
Look at Suge hit a little pep in his step. Nigga, let's go. Look at him. Look, big ass suit. Let's go, nigga. My nigga Suge moving through. I forget you did used to play football though.
He was an athlete,
He
gang.
was an athlete. He was an athlete. So he's moving around blocks and he's moving his team. Look, they got nigga. They followed these niggas all the way through. Hold on. Why is this footage black and white though, and the other shit was colored? Look at Pop. know, it's kind of weird that Pac's in the front.
Right.
To me, I don't know. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, dog. He should be in the middle of a sea of niggas.
Yeah, like he should be where the white coat nigga is, like in front of
But
everybody.
but that niggas always said that was Pac's MO though. Like he always wanted to be right in the front.
Oh, okay. They just showed somebody get hit on the table. Let's see.
Uh,
Let's see what they're showing us. Oh yeah, you see it? Okay, now Pac's not in the front. It was another nigga in front with Pac. Look, are these fans? Yeah, these are just fans just trying to run up. Damn, they had bomb footage in. Had bomb surveillance like that in casinos 30 years ago. You know, now they can see a nigga's a fucking nose hair twitch on a nigga's
facts.
face.
That's a fact. They can see what's under a nigga's
Cause they're zooming
fingernails.
in, Stewie. I need you to understand they're zooming in 280p right now. I don't know
Right.
if you understand what you're seeing.
Right. In '96.
Yeah, 96. It's zooming in.
The if the lion entrance. Right.
Is that anywhere near the ballet?
It looks like this video.
That's
got about
the.
15 more seconds left too.
Sorry, I was
Hey,
confused.
hey, Perry, you see when what's the name said the
Out
only thing
to
they was worried
the
about was the Crips, Bob James. The only thing
hotel
they got was
registration
to defend
area
this
and
club
then
from the
out to
Crips.
the
They
Fort
wasn't worried
Cashier.
about nothing else happening. This nigga Perry is fucking stupid.
Did you know whether or not back in '86 there was a ballet then?
Yeah,
That nigga's stupid.
I mean, you're right though. They did, man. The nigga should have never wrote the book. I think the book is what sealed the fucking deal. I'm really intrigued on how this footage looks and knowing it's in 280. It might be. What do you think? It might be 480p. Nah, 480p. What now? This
Yeah,
is
nah, for
Thank you, sir.
this is
Judge, I pass
240.
the witness.
Yeah,
yeah, it's
240p.
240p.
Cross examination.
Thank you.
The niggas might be
So
on
you
120.
are an
I don't know,
investigator with the MGM.
but I know it's nothing over 240 for sure.
So it would be MGM as well as the other properties that are on the ship. And I'm assuming you're more than just yourself doing the investigations.
correct.
May I have that document? May I hold time?
Yeah.
I'm going to publish this again for the jury. State's Exhibit number 44. All right. Couple questions. As the investigator or a investigator, how long have you been doing that line of work for?
The nigga yesterday, Stewie, head of
14
security or
years.
whatever, he testified.
Did
He
you
was
have
the
any
nigga that was
previous
there
law
that night.
enforcement
You hear me?
experience before you
Yeah.
became an
He's gonna
investigator for
testify
MGM?
that he leaned over the little parking
And
garage
then
and
with
seen what
regards to
happened.
your training as an investigator
He said
for
he
the
so,
MGM, are
but
you trained in how to
he
do an
the nigga he
investigation?
said he seen with a
Yes.
gun. He
Okay.
didn't say how to drug
And that
it.
would be something that would
So I don't know
be
if that
not
help,
necessarily
that
law
help,
enforcement, but it would
doesn't
just
help
be to
or
protect the properties that MGM owns.
Yes.
Okay. So with regards to the training that you have, is one of the things that you do in terms of training, learning how to write proper
is that Keefe
reports?
D's lawyer right there,
Yes. Okay. Can you tell us
or is
why
that the
that's important?
prosecution?
Uh,
This got to be the prosecution
documentation
because Keefe D
for
when they was
future,
cautious in the evidence.
for future
Right.
reference. You're time stamping an event
See, now I gotta Google
in that
who the
moment that
people
you
so I know
are
who they-
investigating it.
And fair to say that with regards to report writing, it helps you later refresh your recollection if you're ever unlucky enough to be sitting in this chair facing towards these people, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
He was
In this case,
That's
you were
definitely the
asked to
prosecutor. If I ever unlucky enough to
retrieve
be sitting in
this
this chair.
video that was what we've all seen right now, right?
Yes, sir.
Did you have to write a report for that?
No.
Now, you had shared with us earlier that you had reviewed the videos. Anything about the review of the videos that would have required you to put it into a report?
No.
Okay. And you were going to, I must have cut you off. You were going to say something. Did you want to finish?
I did not, like you said that I provided this video.
Yes.
I did not provide this video.
Okay. So, and once again, we want to make sure that we're accurate, right? So what is your role in this whole thing and what you did here?
The video that we all reviewed, to be able to say that it's MGM Grand's video, that's MGM Grand's location, and whatever you guys want to talk about inside of the video.
Right. So in terms of you verifying it, was it just you looking at the video and saying, yes, that's the casino floor of the MGM?
Yes.
In terms of the date and time, for instance, you're just relying on what's date stamped and time on the actual video that you watched, right?
Yes.
I mean, you don't have any other way of verifying any of the time and date in this case outside of what's time stamped on the video, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And that's not a trick question. I just
Okay,
want to make sure it's like, yeah, you're good. But in terms of the case itself, was there an internal number that was assigned by the MGM property specifically as to this event in September of 2000 or 1996?
I don't know that answer.
So when you were asked to review the videos, do you know if there were any reports that were written by MGM security or MGM investigators like yourself on September 7th, 1996 with regard to this event?
I don't know that answer.
Now, in addition to that, you were asked to look through the video. Were you ever asked to locate anyone based upon the video that you saw in this case?
No.
You know what makes a 3-hour editing sessions even better? Not having to close.
I'm assuming you weren't, that was 14 years ago, so that would have been, you were there in 2012.
Technically, I got hired in 2010.
Oh, he don't even work there no more?
All right. So this is another, take a step back, another 14 years prior to you working there. We heard testimony that the recording system was all VHS based.
Yes.
If you could describe for the jury, right? So you have a control room, I'm assuming, with all these monitors that are on there.
Yes, sir.
And there's multiple people that are probably looking at different quadrants or areas of the casino.
They're looking at different monitors. Yes, sir.
Okay. And some of them are concerned with, like, say, cheating on the tables and that kind of thing, right?
That is a different team altogether.
I see.
You have your security team and you have your gaming surveillance team.
I see. So as a security team, you're just tasked with safety on the premises.
Correct.
Okay. And so in this case, when those cameras are going around, they're going around automatically until such time as somebody in the control room looks and says, "Oh, there's something going on here," and manually closes the camera over there.
All the cameras. Yes.
Okay. And even if the person in the room is not seeing it, sometimes you'll get a call from security saying, "Hey, we've got a situation over by the elevator banks," and then that would draw someone's attention to that monitor and move the camera over to that area.
Yes, sir.
Now, is the person that's operating the camera at that point in direct contact with the security team that is down below, like in this case, in the elevator area?
Yes, sir.
So they would be communicating back and forth about whatever it is that would be going on that would be helpful for everybody to know.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, in this particular case, you have obviously a lot of people on the property.
Yes, sir.
Maybe you're too young for this, but I mean, this was fight night, right? Mike Tyson against Lee Selden.
Yes, sir.
Is that typical? Like, is that a typical amount of people on the MGM property?
In my experience, yes, that's a typical of fight night that you would have.
Right. So nowadays it's UFC or some type of championship thing with somebody, I don't know. But once again, championship level sort of thing, right?
Yes, sir.
Not an everyday.
Not an everyday.
All right. And obviously there's a ton of people that are there. We see at some point the group that attacked the individual run.
Yes,
and
sir.
they run out of the area. And I want to make sure the jury understands. So going back here again to State's Exhibit number 144, the area where the attack happens is right here. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And this is right next to it. It just says elevator core, right?
Yes, sir.
Now we talked a little bit about where they exited, and you had mentioned somewhere, but I just want to make sure I'm clear as to where that would have been. Can you tell the jury where they exited?
from what I observed, it
Sir, just to let you know, you could actually take that mouse that's right there and just move it around.
Can't when he's on the dog cam.
They
all right.
changed
Down
it.
and pointed out.
Usually they can, but
All right. Just go ahead and just describe it, and I'll just.
he appears to have traveled initially after the altercation. He appears to travel north up into the casino area, around that area, and then from the description, it looks like he comes back south and then turns to the
approach that screen.
Oh, thank you, Madam Clerk. Yes, please. Could you just?
Talk loud while you're up there. You can get up and just point it out on that big screen if you want.
Sorry, talk with you. She said, raise your voice now.
Right. We need this clear.
Speak up,
The
young man.
altercation occurs in the elevator core. It appears that he travels up through this location on the casino floor, and then turns here, and then comes back down. And it appears that he goes. I would have to watch it again. I'm a little confused on the exact route. There's only two routes. You either went out the Port of Fisher or went out the Lion entrance. I'd have to watch it one more time to be able to confirm it.
If we could ask the state to be so kind as to replay that particular video back for the witness.
She needs to put it back on me.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. And once again, this would be 115C as in Charlie.
Okay, they got a whole nother view. There's a different.
He's
view?
trying to replay it back basically because he's trying to establish like the path that they took.
Oh, okay. Look at my nigga Suge moving through. Oh, ass.
Right.
Suge already said he's not testifying too. I don't think they can make him for whatever reason.
No, they can't make you. Like the most you could do is like subpoena them, but I think even then, depending on your attorneys, I think you might be able to block subpoenas with the right paperwork. But I could be wrong, man.
They're doing this for, I don't know why they're doing this, but they're trying to establish they left out the Lion exit for whatever reason. So, was the camera zooming in real time, or did they do this afterwards?
So I think they said like it happens in real time. So they said basically the cameras pretty much sway back and forth, but when there's some shit going on, a nigga come on and control it manually. Yeah.
The camera had great movement from back there. That motherfucker was swiveling. They gotta get. So it's like the witnesses ain't all people telling; they different type of witnesses. You got
Did that
material
help?
witnesses.
Yes, it did. Okay. Let's show this to the jury then. Put this back up if you want to go on. Yes, sir.
You thought that was funny?
I'm showing you again States Exhibit 44. Can you explain to the jury the path that was taken?
Initially, it starts in the elevator core. They exit the elevator core. They enter the casino floor. They come down. They pass the cage. They pass the Emerald City
All right, and for the record, the line entrance is on the corner of Las Vegas Boulevard and Tropicana?
Correct.
Thank you. Now, with regards to how we're able to determine this, obviously we're looking at this particular map here, and there's names of certain parts on here. Did that help you in terms of seeing where the camera locations were?
Yes.
As well as just looking and seeing that there was a casino cage and there was, you were able to determine just based upon that where everything was.
Correct.
Okay. Now, looking at the map again as well, can you point out for us the number of cafes that's located on the property?
Great players don't just watch first base. They see the whole field. Charts!
Would reading the actual thing help you? 'Cause the resolution-
Yes, I think it would have. You want the number of cafes, sir?
Yeah, just tell me how many cafes are on the map.
One, three.
All right. Thank you. I'm sorry, I'm the coach.
Oh, of course. You may move freely.
Thank you. Showing you again for the jury 144. If you can just get up and point to the map in terms of where the cafes are on property in 1996 for us, please.
I know that shit ain't the same still now.
Got the Coyote Cafe, this video coffee shop, and I believe this is also like a one-man coffee stand.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that. Now, in terms of the number of people moving through the casino, obviously very excited in terms of who they think is going through the casino, would that have been something that would have been unnoticed by anyone?
I'm sorry, I don't understand the question.
Seems like a weird question, right? But the idea behind it is that there are so many people moving through that casino. Is MGM built in such a way where you wouldn't notice that, the noise or the bustle or anything like that?
Yes.
It is
You
built
wouldn't,
that way.
no, you wouldn't notice it.
And in terms of the number of people that are going through there at that particular time, you have camera angles, right? And they're showing us where these people are going, right?
Yes.
So outside of the casino, going back down here to the bottom of 144, were there any camera angles out here in the line entrance to help us see where the individuals left and what direction they went to?
Not that I'm aware of.
And fair enough that there's actually cameras that are outside the property as well to protect the MGM property, right?
407.
Generally, yes.
Looks like we have the jury lined up. Anything we need to address before we bring them in?
Not from the state.
Mr. Sam?
Yeah, we do have one request of the court. I understand that the state will be putting on a witness that actually has a medical appointment back in California tomorrow.
Okay.
And so as a result, I would like to be able to do my cross after they present all of their direct evidence, which would include the recording that will be played with regards to an interview with Mr. Davis. But I'd like to do that at the end and do it in the middle like we did yesterday or the other day with Detective Miller. Right? There are questions I wanted to ask Detective Miller that I just couldn't do after the recording had been played. And so I understand that this Detective Dupree would be in California tomorrow for the appointment.
So you would rather, so you understand that he's going to be back in California, but you still want to do it via Zoom?
Sure, yeah, because I don't want to miss with this appointment on.
So no objection to him doing it via Zoom, but you want the state to present all of the information that they're presenting through him, and then you do your cross?
Yes.
Okay. I think we can accommodate that, right, State?
Well, I mean, there is approximately 5 hours worth of recordings with him. Once it's into evidence, our choice to play it whether he's on the stand or not is
So
when we
his-
decide to
his
play
lawyer
it
look like an
during the
orchestra
trial.
conductor.
I explained to Detective Dupree that I planned to do my direct and his cross-examination today because I knew that he had to be out of here.
Okay.
I don't think he'd be opposed to subject to recall with Mr. Sampt if he wants to go and would come back on by Zoom. But I am opposed to the idea that they're going to control the way we present our evidence. We'll do direct, we'll do cross. If there's anything he wants to additionally have from Detective Dupree, I don't think that he would necessarily be opposed to getting on a Zoom in his case.
All right. Do you guys want to talk to him real quick to see if he can be recalled? If there's something that needs to be done after everything's presented?
Okay, I just want to clarify. I heard the state basically say that they don't want me to dictate how they want to present the case. I'm perfectly fine with that. I'm just saying.
You're not stipulating that they can play it outside.
Look, I mean,
Like, with the
this
other
is a
witness.
matter of professional courtesy. I would definitely allow him to go back to California to do what he's doing. But he's on the stand. Technically, he's not supposed to be released until after the court releases him from the subpoena. And so as a result, if you want to play that game, then I would want him to stay here overnight so he can at least be cross-examined by me. I just was trying to be nice about it by doing it the other way, but it seems now like I have to recall this person. I don't trust that he wouldn't disappear in the wind. I don't care if he's a detective. Like, in my opinion, I got a problem with that.
Well, yeah, but once a piece of evidence is admitted, it's our choice as to when to play it.
Yeah,
and
it's
how
a
to
little
play it.
chippy.
So, like, I'm not getting dictated how we do that. If he's
Who's
done
the
with
state
cross,
and
and
who's the
if
pro-
he's
who's
going to
who?
delay cross, and
I'm pretty sure that's TPD's lawyer on the right.
he's free to play it during this
And
cross
with the long
examination if
hair.
he wants to.
Yeah.
Once a piece
Okay.
of evidence is admitted, it's admitted, right?
Right.
So I'm going to
if
lay
you're
the
going
foundation.
to have him verify it and then not play it until closings or something, that's your prerogative.
Or I could just, on Friday decide we're going to play, because we have hours and hours and hours of audio to play, and just having somebody sitting on the stand for audio is not necessary. I can present it in any manner I want to. It just doesn't require the witness to be here to listen to it.
And
once
so it
it's
sounds
admitted.
like what Mr. Samp is saying is he has no objection to you doing your direct and then playing it without him being here, and then he would like to do his cross tomorrow. So I was just going to see if
I just don't think we'll be through it by tomorrow. I think it may be, because we have a witness coming tomorrow, so we may be breaking up 2008 and then later on playing 2009. So I don't know when that's going to happen in our presentation of the evidence.
I understand that.
Kind of the issue that we're having, because we're really juggling a lot of out-of-state witnesses because nobody was in Vegas when this crime occurred.
So, Mr. Samp, what I'll do is after you listen to
Can
when
you
the
keep
state
gonna be on national
is
TV,
done with
Sean?
their direct,
You wanna
and
be
they've
looking right, you
admitted
said
what they
look
want to
right real
admit,
quick.
and they say that they're done, I'll turn to you. You can let me know if you want to cross-examine now, if you want to ultimately recall him on your own
just
for your
disappear in the middle of the night.
presentation.
He need to stay the night.
And if
There's a little bit of regret with regards to Detective Miller, and I do understand there were some audio-visual problems with this connection, right? In terms of
What's going on? That's not. You still here?
Yeah, I'm here.
That's not nothing. That's just going. It's just happening. Yeah, it's just happening. It ain't nothing to do with nothing.
at a later time for recall. That's all I'm trying to do at this point, so that I can see what my options are.
I'd be happy to go out.
They fucking up. We not.
So if you guys want to talk to him and see if he has a time afterwards, I understand your concern. I understand your point that we can just admit it and play it at closings, essentially. We don't, once something's admitted, you can play it whenever you want. That is true. You also may have questions that get formulated after the item is presented. So let's see if there's a possibility for him to be recalled at all at any point. I have no problem with doing that, but I don't know if he's available. So go check with him, and then we can come up with a plan.
He's not with that shit. Niggas gonna be available. He could at least got his hair braided or something, man.
So my nigga said at least got some cornrows.
Yeah, man.
He said at least got some two braids or something.
Yeah, get two braids or something, my nigga. You didn't have to go crazy. You feel me?
Whoa. I just got the editing app in base 44. Guys.
They be turning it. Look, they got Keefy. He got regular clothes on today. Regular little white tee type joint. It looked like. Nah, it looked like he got jogger suit on still.
That'd be crazy if he do. If he got like a
It's cause
what's,
he
what's,
seen.
what's,
It's cause he seen Mob James coming there with that shit on the other day.
yeah, he tried to come in with a little tracksuit on or something.
Yeah, Mob James came in there looking like a smooth criminal and had his hood hat and everything.
Niggas is crazy. Niggas is acting out for this Tupac trial, man.
They gotta leave. I want them to leave the audio on, Stewie, when they're doing whatever they're doing right now. Let us hear what niggas is talking about.
Right.
Cause they talking about something. And I don't trust that. And he kind of tried to start flashing.
Yeah, I don't care if he's a detective or not. I'm supposed to know he ain't finna just disappear in the middle of the night.
Hey, he's trying to get clips, gang. I don't know. He's saying certain shit that he know niggas is. Oh, let me take that. That's
You gotta think he know this is a tough case, so he really got to do everything in his power. You see what I'm saying? To try to get some results. Even if he lose, he gotta look so great while he's losing.
Stewie. Who was that? They just showed for a long time. It was a couple black people, young.
Oh, that was definitely some of Tupac's family, because that's definitely Mo Preem.
Right there.
Yeah, that's Mo Preem for sure. So yeah,
Who
that's
was
def.
Mo? That's Tupac's family.
Yeah, Mo Preem. That's his brother.
Oh shit.
Okay.
So they painted them niggas on purpose. Is what you're saying? They wanted niggas to know you see Pac's family in the building.
I appreciate it. Thank you, guys. All right, perfect. So looks like that's been
Well,
resolved.
that makes me feel
Anything
better.
else
I
we need to
still
address
wish they
outside
would have got
presence?
this over with before his mama
All
died.
right, let's bring the jury in.
Man, I'm saying.
Look. Oh no, Keefy got a regular jingle on. Look, they turned the audio down because we could hear Keefy. I'm mad.
Do the party signal to the presence of the jury?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you may be seated. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for accommodating me as we started a little bit later. I appreciate your time. At this time, we are still in the state's case in chief. Who's your next witness, Mr.
Wade Lee.
Okay.
So, the state calls all their witnesses first. That's how that works.
I think technically because since you're the defense, you would have to go second. You're defending yourself, so
That's crazy that they get to just load all their bullshit on you real quick and then you gotta defend it. I thought it was like you call a witness, I call a witness. So he don't. Damn, I thought I don't know. I seen too many movies, man. I thought they get to talk to the nigga right then. I thought they get to talk to the witness right then and there.
I think that's if they cross examine.
WAGE.
Oh, he chose not to.
Thank you, Mr. Lee, for being here. Mr. DeJuckel, whenever you're ready, you may proceed.
Sir, back in the 90s, how were you employed?
I was a special agent with the FBI.
How long were you with the FBI?
25 years.
And when did you start?
May of 1996.
May of 1996?
Yes.
Yeah, I've been retired that long, actually.
5 years.
I want to direct your attention to the 1997, 1998 time period. What was your assignment? What were you doing for the FBI at that time?
I was assigned to a squad that was working the State Streets Task Force. I was basically the Violent Crimes Major Offenders program, working gangs in South Central LA.
you said Project Safe Street, and that's a federal task force that has multi-agency people on it.
Yes, that's correct. The way it was generally organized, there were several squads in LA, the LA division of the FBI, that were assigned to different regions of the area, the territories. My squad was assigned to the Watts area of Los Angeles, South Central.
And as part of your duties, did you have a partner by the name of Agent Holiday?
Yeah, Todd Holiday, yes.
Did there come a point in time when the two of you, along with other members of your squad, begin an investigation into a criminal street gang by the name of Grape Street?
Yes, it was.
Can you explain to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what Grape Street is?
Grape Street, the Grape Street Crips was a large gang organization that operated out of the Jordan Downs housing projects in Watts. It was basically believed to be the largest Crip set in all of America. Our squad was working the violent aspects and drug dealing aspects of that organization.
As part of your investigation into Grape Street, did you come across a person that you identified as Dwayne Davis?
Yes.
And do you see Mr. Davis here in court today?
Yes, I do.
Can you point him out, describe something he's wearing?
It's the gentleman sitting in the at the defendant's table with the blue shirt and tie.
And how is it that you came across Mr. Davis?
During the course of our investigation with Grape Street, when you're looking at the organization, there was numerous techniques that we used for investigating, whether it was informants, wiretaps, surveillance, active interviews, and things of that nature. During the course of that interview, Mr. Davis kind of came under the umbrella under the course of our investigation of one of his associate family members by the individual of the name Rodney Blackman.
And did Rodney have a nickname?
Speedy.
During the time
Oh, they
period.
now they figuring out family ties.
Well, let me ask you this.
They're trying to break shit down.
As part of Project Safe Streets, as well as being assigned to the Watts area, were you aware of the various gang sets and their
Yeah, I mean, while our squad was working that investigation on Grape Street, you always would have crossover in other areas. For example, in Watts, there were 3 main housing project areas. Each of them you had really prominent gang organizations, as well as gangs that came up from the Compton area and other parts of South Central Los Angeles. So there was usually crossover, whether it's from drug activity or other sort of gang violence, things like that.
And you mentioned one of them, the Jordan Downs.
Yes.
What type of housing, what type of gang activity was going on in the Jordan Downs?
So Grape Street Crips operated out of Jordan Downs housing projects, and they basically controlled that whole housing project as far as the drug trafficking, violent activity, and things of that nature.
If somebody were hiding out from blood gang members hunting him, would
Hanging out on Lake Union is what summer is all about in Seattle. But if you see the line of boots,
you mentioned that Mr. Davis had a cousin, I'm going to call Speedy. At some point, do you wind up learning information that allows you to arrest Mr. Davis for some criminal offenses?
Yes, we were part of our investigation while we were up on Mr. Blackman. There was a period of time when Mr. Davis actually was staying with Blackman. It was actually after the Tupac Shakur murder. During the course of our investigation of the Grape Street Crips and of Blackman and things like that, we were able to obtain information and evidence to develop a case against Mr. Davis.
And can you just describe the general allegations of the case?
It was drug trafficking, 2 kilos. He was indicted and arrested for selling 2 kilos of cocaine.
And the type of evidence you had against Mr. Davis, what was it?
Most of it was telephone conversation intercepts from wiretaps, court authorized wiretaps.
And based upon the charges, ultimately, do you indict Mr. Davis for some crimes related to drug trafficking?
Yes, he was indicted, arrested, and then eventually pled guilty.
The type of sentence Mr. Davis was facing when he was indicted, what kind of ranges are we talking for those kind of charges?
I believe it was around somewhere in the nature of 10 years and initially, but it varies depending on, individuals' prior criminal history, whether they were felony convictions, drug trafficking offenses, and things of that nature. It also varies depending on the type of drug that the individual might have been accused of trafficking. Back then, and at that time period, the federal sentencing guidelines, there was a difference in sentencing for rock cocaine, crack cocaine versus regular powder cocaine and things of that nature. And he was indicted for trafficking 2 kilos of powder cocaine.
As part of that investigation, does there come a point in time when you do what's known as a proffer with Mr. Davis?
Yes, we did.
And describe for ladies and gentlemen of the jury what a proffer is.
So a proffer interview session would be, it's usually considered, it's a fairly common practice, federal criminal justice system, where we have an individual who's been indicted and arrested, and it sort of is the beginning of a negotiation for a plea agreement, if you will.
Yeah.
What we do is the U.S. Attorney's Office, the defendant's attorney, they all agree that to conducting an interview with the FBI. The terms of that agreement are such that the defendant has to be open and candor, tell the truth regarding the questions that we ask him. In return, the FBI, Department of Justice, will not use what the defendant says in there's a couple little caveats. One being that
don't do it. Come on, man. Hey, about to say something about interviews and shit.
Right. This is the part.
Come on, man.
Speaking, those are general in nature, and we also agree to keep the nature of the interview confidential.
Your Honor, may we approach?
Yeah.
He's about to say something about this right now. They don't want that proffer agreement because they about to use that audio and shit, huh? I think that's what they're trying to establish right now still, if they can use that proffer in this case.
Yeah. Because that's everything. He said it all in there. If he can't use it, then yeah, it's bad. It's good for him. But if they can use it, yeah, it's bad. Because that's a confession.
And then they're gonna break down how it works and all that shit. Yeah, see niggas up there talking to the judge, they had to turn that audio off.
But see, I think it's gonna get nasty even without the proffer though, because all the interviews, and he could say that they paid him to do the interview to say that, and he could show proof of payment, but at the same time, that's not proof that they paid you to say that specifically. That's proof that they paid you for the interview.
Yeah. You're actually right. Keith, he's shaking his head. Look.
Yeah.
Head. Bitch ass niggas about to use that proffer against the nigga. fuck. You know what he said.
Yeah. He said it multiple times too. That's how I know what he said.
All right, Mr. Duffman, you may proceed.
When you had your 1998 proffer with Mr. Davis, well, first of all, were you by yourself, or did you have your partner Todd Holiday with you?
Todd Holiday attended, as well as the Assistant United States Attorney, along with the attorney for Mr. Davis, who were also there.
And what was his name?
Referred to by.
Well, I have what's marked as State Proposed Exhibit 46. I know you got a copy
Okay.
there.
That's fine.
How about we use the one that I have
Sure.
marked, and I'll take these back from you.
If reviewing those notes, refresh your recollection as to the name of his attorney.
Yes, Edie Fall.
Okay, after reviewing that, has your recollection been refreshed?
Oh, yes. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
And it's Edie Fall?
Yes.
Understood. You may proceed.
First of all, let me ask this. Up until you were contacted sometime this year, have you maintained the confidentiality of this conversation that you have with Mr. Davis?
Yes.
And as far as you're aware, your partner Todd Holiday also maintained the confidentiality of it.
Yes, as far as I know.
And before you hit the stand today, or sometime last week or the week before, or at some point, the United States or the Assistant U.S. Attorney's Office issued a letter authorizing you to testify to these two conversations you had with Mr. Davis.
Yes, referring to the TUI letter, yes.
And that's a requirement that state prosecutors have to get permission from the federal government to allow you as an agent or former agent to testify to actions you took in your official capacity as a federal law enforcement officer.
Yes, regarding those two interviews, yes.
How is your proffer with Mr. Davis documented?
Here it goes.
Usually we use the standard FBI reporting mechanism, which is a FD 302 report.
And that is essentially a report that lays out the information you received. There's no audio recording of that particular conversation.
That's correct.
And is there a FBI 302 of what's in front of you? And I forgot the number. Is it 146?
Ask privately with duck.ai.
In this,
Visit duck.ai.
he already said he got permission to talk about it. Federal government.
Now he does?
Yeah.
That you were part of with Mr. Davis on July 16th of 1998.
Yes, it is.
Move to admit 146. 9.
No objection.
So admitted.
Now, I'm not going to have you go through everything that was in there, but what is your purpose in talking to Mr. Davis in the proffer session?
Well, the purpose is to glean as much information as we can regarding what he knew or knew at the time regarding gang, drug, violent activity going on within the Watts and Compton areas.
Were you investigating directly, at least, the Tupac Shakur murder?
Not directly, like it wasn't. We weren't assigned. We were working our normal gang activity investigations. However, it was known to us that he was a person of interest. Mr. Davis was a person of interest regarding that homicide.
And so during this proffer session, you asked him questions about that as well.
Yes, we did.
I'm going to go through 146 in front of you. And actually, I can roll it up here on the screen for you. It would help if I plugged the computer in. So So that's what the front page of this 302 says. Is confidential and it has the date and a description of who the people that are present for this particular proffer are.
That's correct.
The very first part of the interview, and let's close that. There, you have a discussion with Mr. Davis about an individual called Zip. Tell us what he tells you about this individual Zip initially.
Initially, that Zip was an individual from New York who was a pimp who controlled girls, numerous girls, sold marijuana. He did just mention that Zip was involved in PCP trafficking and for an individual.
Never knew what the proper meant said, huh?
PCP. So Zip came from New York to LA to conduct the transaction.
Did he also mention how he met Zip?
Yes, he said he met Zip at a baseball game somewhere in approximately 1993 or 94. There was an individual named Fats who was also at the game that introduced the Zip.
And then he talks to you a little bit about who Fats is.
Yeah, Fats was a large cocaine supplier who operated in the west side of LA. He's also known as Flint. Davis associated with Fats prior to 1994, up until basically the time, I guess, where Fats was arrested and taken into federal custody.
Let's skip past some Fats. There's a or part of this conversation, a person.
Dave was actually arrested by the squad that I worked on, the Safe Street Task Force. He was a large scale drug dealer, drug trafficker in the Watts area, Compton, with Grape Street Crips.
And does Davis describe his relationship as it relates to Mr. Day?
Yes, there was. He mentioned that they were related. That Davis had an uncle who was the uncle of Wayne Day. That's how he described it.
And then there's a conversation in this next paragraph where Mr. Davis makes mention of Mr. Day having Compton sewn up. What does sewn up mean?
Well, in terms of having control of all the drug trafficking in that specific area, and actually,
everything.
It was mentioned. Agents mentioned to him that Wayne Day had Compton sewn up, and Mr. Davis said actually that he had part of Compton sewn up, that he didn't have the South Side part that Davis operated in.
And then does he tell you what his role is in the South Side part of Compton as it relates to drug trafficking?
Look at his face.
When you say he, you're referring to
Mr. Davis. Sorry.
That Mr. Davis had that side of Compton handled as far as the drugs.
And did he talk to you about who handled the north side of Compton?
Yes, he did. It was an individual who was a former Compton PD officer by the name of Reggie Wright Jr.
I'm going to drop down a little bit here to the part where he talks to you about both him and Mr. Blackman being major suppliers in the Jordan Downs housing project in Watts.
That's correct.
And then he begins to talk to you about the start of Death Row Records.
Yeah. Again, that was all part of the, overall investigations that we were looking at as far as the gang activity and things of that nature. He mentioned there was an individual by the name of Harry O that provided money to start the the Death Row Records. Also, what's his name? I believe Patrick Johnson provided approximately $80,000. Actually told Davis to give $80,000 that money that Davis owed to Johnson from previous game transactions to Johnson's girlfriend, so that money could be used to start Death Row Records.
And he also explains Marion Suge Knight's role and his connection to the Blood gang members.
Yes, he did. He said that Marion Knight had gained control of the North Compton drug trade, and that he was associated with a bunch of the Blood Street gang members, like the Mob Pyrus and such. And they were, the Knight was getting them in and out of, getting them out of jail, bailing them out, and they would cooperate with Knight.
And basically, when Knight goes to prison, he tells you Reggie Wright kind of takes over.
Yeah, Reggie Wright Jr. took over the organization after Suge Knight was arrested.
Reggie Wright Jr.?
You already mentioned Harry O. But Davis claims to actually be involved in the delivery of some of the money associated with the startup of Death Row Records.
Yes.
Down. I'm going to start. You see at the top there. You ask him about his prior relationship with Mr. Knight prior to the murder of Tupac Shakur. You see that paragraph there?
Yeah. I mean, Davis said that.
This is crazy as fuck. Damn. That nigga say he got 2 letters from the federal government.
Accuses 2 Compton Police Department officers, Sergeant Reynolds and Lieutenant Reggie Wright Sr., the father of Reggie Wright Jr., as basically being corrupt officers.
Yes. Yeah. That Reggie Wright Sr. was a lieutenant with Compton Police Department, and then Reggie Wright Jr. was a former officer with the police department. He had then started a company called Rightway Security, and then he was working with Suge Knight, doing security, although some claimed it wasn't on an official capacity, for Death Row Records, looking at their parties and such and things like that. They would Rightway Security. They would employ Compton PD officers and things of that nature to conduct their business for Mr. Knight.
And he also mentions Omar Bradley. Who's Omar Bradley?
Omar Bradley's former mayor of Compton, the city of Compton. He mentions Mr. Bradley saying that he was associated with Knight and the other Blood Pirate gang members.
Skip through the part. Top of page 4, he provides information, or at least asserts that Reggie Wright Jr. is distributing drugs out of a particular location, and even names some people that are helping with that.
Yes, he stated that Reggie Wright Jr. Had a drug distribution location, an auto body shop called Untouchables, that was located at the corner of Alondra and Washington in the city of Compton. There was the shop was owned by an individual by the name of Melvin Hurd, and then Hurd, a guy by the name of G. Ray and Jim helped distribute cocaine from the shop.
He also mentions some people that work for Reggie Wright Jr. and assisting in the cocaine distribution.
Yes, he stated that Reggie Wright Jr. had individual names who was a member of the Mob Pyru street gang, individual named Flip, who distributed out of a shop location on Compton Boulevard, and Harris. There was an individual known as Buntry.
Alton McDonald?
Yes.
Buntry, B-U-N-T-R-Y?
Yes. Alton McDonald, who was the brother of Mob James, which is James McDonald. Also another individual named Trayvon Lane, who was a Mob Pirate Gang member, and then Kevin Woods.
And then they can kind of read this themselves, but at some point he talks about an incident that occurs at a neighborhood mall involving a person named Marcus. What does he tell you about that?
Yeah, this was a few weeks before murder of Tupac Shakur. This individual, Marcus, who was a Southside Crip, was at the mall by himself. Mr. Orlando Anderson, who was the cousin or nephew of Mr. Davis.
As soon as they start jiggling, bro.
Observed what was happening and went in to help Marcus. And they beat up and fended off the other gang members.
And then he moves on to describe the incident at the MGM casino the night of Mr. Shakur's murder.
Yes, he did.
And what did he tell you?
He told us the day of the murder of Tupac Shakur that the Blood Street members, some Blood Street gang members saw at night. They saw Orlando Anderson. They attacked him because of the previous incident at the mall. After the attack, Mr. Davis, Anderson, Orlando Anderson, and their girlfriends went back up to their hotel room at the Excalibur Hotel, and he said that was it. They didn't have any involvement. They stayed in the room the rest of the night.
He tells you that the room was in Anderson's name.
Yeah, the room was in Anderson's name. That they'd driven up to Vegas from the LA area in a Land Cruiser, and that they had some other associates: Corey Edwards, Kevin Davis, Terry Brown, aka Bubble Up.
So this is a different proffer.
Las Vegas. They stayed at the MGM.
There's two proffers?
And
Because the other proffer must have been after 2000.
Yeah, he said they didn't have any knowledge of what happened
in '98.
that they weren't involved. He did later speculate that maybe it was some Compton police officers that were working for Suge Knight, and that maybe it was because he had heard that Tupac was talking about possibly leaving Death Row Records or something to that effect. But
his suggestion was that perhaps Knight, who's driving the car, had Compton police officers shoot Tupac in the car Suge's driving.
So at first he was saying the police did
something
it?
to that effect.
I'm gonna keep rolling down here.
Oh god damn! So there's two proffers.
He gets back at page 5 to talking about Zip. So how does he tell you? Well, he talks about Zip and how he becomes associated with the Notorious B.I.G.
Yeah, he said that back in 93, 94, Zip introduced Davis to Notorious B.I.G. at Summer Jam concert. And Davis would associate with Notorious B.I.G. when he was in LA area, but they never had any like drug connections or anything like that.
He tells you that he was actually at the Peterson Automotive Museum the night Mr. Wallace was killed.
That's correct, yes.
And then he saw some, at least people associated with Death Row Records at that location.
Yeah, he told us that prior to that, the night of the murder, Davis observed some females associated with Death Row Records at the party. He said, well, like Jewel, a singer, Lachelle, a comedian for Death Row, and Davis believes that they saw Mr. Wallace at the event, then called Blood gang members to come. Davis did say he observed Reggie Wright Jr., DJ Quick, who was a performer for Death Row, Theo, a local disc jockey, and about 10 or 11 other Treetop, Fruitown Blood Gang members arrived at the event. Davis told Mr. Wallace that they were to watch, that they were there and they should watch out. And then shortly thereafter, Mr. Wallace was shot. But Davis wasn't there; he didn't see who actually shot him.
But once again, he tells you that he believes that Reggie Wright Jr. and Blood Gang members are the people that killed Mr. Wallace.
Yes, he said he believed that Reggie Wright Jr. and the Blood Gang members associated with him were the ones responsible for killing Notorious B.I.G. When asked who the individual was who actually killed him, based off of there was a composite drawing that was that had been provided and was kind of passed around, so we showed him that. Davis responded that the composite looked just like Reggie Wright Jr.
Do you remember the day that you arrested Mr. Davis on the indictment?
I say Reggie Wright.
Yes.
What day was that?
It sounds like, yeah.
I believe it was May 28th, 1998.
Was it the day before the Orlando Anderson's killed in his own shootout
Yes.
in California?
Yes.
And Mr. Davis talks to you a little bit about that without going into the specifics, but he talks to you a little bit about how Mr. Anderson wound up dying.
Yes, he did.
They need to get to the second
And
part.
thereafter,
you know,
and I'm not going to go through all these.
Because this one is just exposing how much he told.
He initially
Nobody ever
denies
knew he told this much.
distribution
You know
engaged in distributing
crazy.
cocaine.
This is only one.
Yeah, I mean, we asked him to discuss all the individuals out of state who he supplied cocaine to, and all the local individuals he supplied and distributed to. He initially said that he hadn't distributed out of state to anyone or knew of anyone who did it within the last 3 years. But then he went through and we started asking about specific individuals, and he would provide more details and information about who he had supplied and what he had supplied and sort of the details.
One of the people he talks about is Primo.
Yes. Primo was an individual that he bought cocaine from, like a supplier of kilos of cocaine. Anywhere from 11,500 to 12,500 a kilogram. Primo fronted Davis 200 kilos of cocaine at a time, and then Davis would go out and sell it, and then pay Primo back.
He also mentions Corey Edwards getting drugs from Mr. Davis and being out in Ohio and distributing cocaine in Ohio.
Yes, Davis said that at that time, back when we were interviewing him in '98, up until about 3 years prior, that he was supplying Corey Edwards, who was selling cocaine all over Ohio. But I guess Edwards got into, he said at one point Edwards got into some trouble with his Cleveland drug contact, and that Edwards started coming out to acquire cocaine directly from Davis. That was an individual named Bubs who resided in Cleveland.
You know, have to say something about Cameron here, because Cameron was.
Eventually, he describes how.
I am not supposed to be here right now. Okay, everybody left hours ago.
This shit is crazy, bro.
So yeah, Primo, I guess, departed the U.S. So we had to start selling cocaine in smaller quantities, and he came across a supplier by the name of Samuel Lopez, whose brother was actually in federal custody.
Nigga told all.
And Davis had heard that Samuel Lopez went back to Mexico after the FBI attempted to arrest him. And I guess there was a younger brother or another Lopez, George Lopez, used to answer the phone for Samuel Lopez.
And I'm not going to go into this, but there was a discussion of someone named Dupree, but that guy's full name was Azel Dupree Hall III, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
he talks specifically about the phone calls that you were playing for him, that you had captured him on the wire.
That's correct.
At the very end, he denies that he's the leader of the Southside Crips and claims Darnell Brim is actually the leader of the gang.
Yes,
Okay, so the first one,
even though he
might have lied.
It said that he was large scale,
right?
Basically, drug trafficker on that south side of Compton. That Darnell Brim was actually the head of the gang, if you will.
Now I want to move on. Shortly after that conversation that you had with Mr. Davis, did he enter a guilty plea to some charges and get sentenced? That's a little less than 6 years. So he got some benefit from talking to you from what?
Yeah, I don't know if it was 70 months. It might have been 77 months, 70 or 77 months. I don't recall specifically.
That's crazy. That nigga remember a nigga.
Judge, I have in my hand.
It was either 70 or 77.
I don't remember offering it. A certified copy of the indictment, the plea, and the judgments of conviction in United States District Court for the Central District of California, case CR-98537, evincing his.
Parties attached.
Every time they get to turn the shit off, somebody's not happy with what's being said.
Right.
Well, she just had him approach, didn't she?
Look like you.
Yeah, they didn't ask. She told her to come up here real quick. Look, that nigga right behind, what's his name, is sketching pictures of Keefy D.
He is though.
You didn't see it with the pen?
No, I just noticed it just now, but I see the little pad on his lap.
Yeah, he got the. He's sketching something. He's probably sketching this nigga, man. Damn, man, this is. How long do you think this trial's gonna last?
Honestly, maybe for another few days.
That's it? You think it's gonna be that fast?
Cause wait, this is day 2 or day 3?
This is day 3.
I think it'll last for a week.
OJ's
Yeah,
trial was
yeah.
how long was OJ's trial?
Damn, OJ's trial was hella long.
I feel like his shit was. Hold on, let me see. Let me see how.
OJ's trial was hella fucking long.
Bro, I feel like this is on that same level. Damn, that shit started in January, ended in October. So it was 8 months. So, shit, this motherfucker could be at least 5-6 months, I think.
It depends on how much information and how they're trying to enter it in, I guess. Because the thing is, you gotta remember, even then, like they still liked OJ.
Oh, you're right.
They don't like this nigga at all. They never liked him.
They say this trial is expected to last 4 to 6 weeks.
Hmm. They must got some shit. Like I said, they probably because the other one was where he was saying all that other shit.
That's the proffer I'm trying to hear, bro. I think that's why I think that's why they stopped it, like trying to get that other proffer thrown out real quick or something. Because this one's already just making his exit back to the streets, even if he was to be not guilty. It's so many niggas know he told now on him.
Yeah, he damn near got to be witness protection.
He told on so many people. It's they named at least, bro. He probably had like
Gang
30, 40
affiliation,
names.
as well as a federal conviction.
Yeah,
of Mr.
they named a lot of people.
They're not offered to show that Mr. Davis has a propensity to
And they
commit
start
crimes.
getting into other
Instead,
states
they are
with it,
offered to
talking about, you know what I'm saying?
establish credibility of the statements made by defendant in relation to this case, as well as motive and identity. Mr. DiGiacomo, you may proceed.
Thank you, Judge. Now, after Mr. Davis goes to federal prison,
Hang on one second. They're not offered to show propensity to commit crime, and you are not to consider them for any propensity that Mr. Davis has any propensity to commit crime. You may proceed, Mr. DiGiacomo. Sorry, I phrased that one.
subsequent to Mr. Davis going to prison, do you and your partner, Todd Holiday, go to federal prison and have just a voluntary conversation with Mr. Davis?
Yes, we did. We went to
Is that situation different than the proffer situation?
It is in that it's a strictly voluntary interview. His attorney, the U.S. Attorney's Office, were notified of us contacting him because he's in custody. But the terms of the proffer, it's not the same as the proffer agreement. It's just a normal, regular interview.
But once again, you do promise him confidentiality during that conversation.
Yes, we did.
And up until the U.S. Attorney authorized you, you maintain that confidentiality.
That's correct.
I'm showing you what's been marked as State's Proposed Exhibit number 149. Is that the 302 that describes that particular conversation?
Yes, it is.
Move to admit 149.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
So admitted.
And I'm going to put that one up on the screen. Can you tell me the date that occurred?
The interview. Let's see here. April 15th, 1999.
Okay. And the report's generated on April 20th of 1999.
That's correct.
You begin the conversation with him talking about Mr. Anderson and his death. Is that fair?
Yes, that's correct.
And then Mr. Davis tells you he's not aware of any motive for why blood gang members or individuals associated with death row records would have wanted to kill Anderson.
That's correct.
And then he repeats that he had nothing to do with either Tupac Shakur or.
When I got out of the military, I lost my sense of purpose.
Not involved in the shooting death of Tupac Shakur, and as well as anybody else that he was associated with, and with Tupac or Mr. Christopher Wallace, Notorious B.I.G.
Does he speculate again as to who would have been involved in these two murders?
He said, he told us he didn't know who killed the two rap stars, but that he believed individuals from New York associated with Puffy Combs or individuals associated with could have killed Shakur, and that individuals associated with Death Row Records killed Mr. Wallace.
Where Puffy Combs, yeah.
And then he talks a little bit of the gang war that occurs shortly after the murder of Tupac Shakur.
Yes. Basically, he said that there was a conflict between Davis and Mr. Marion Knight that resulted as a result of the shootings. That the conflict, there was basically a war going on between Southside Compton Crips and Compton Blood Pirate Gang members, stemming from the mall altercation with Marcus Nunn and Orlando Anderson, other members of Southside Compton Crips, along with the Compton Blood Gang members.
And he claims the reason that people believe that Orlando Anderson is the killer is that he asserts the Compton police is telling people that.
That's correct. He made comments that he believed that Compton PD members were putting out rumors that Orlando Anderson, and then were involved.
Do you confront him about Mr. Anderson, the attack, and him being upset about that particular attack?
Well, I mean, we asked him about that, about the whole escalation of incidents, because of the gang activity, the incident at the mall, then at the MGM Grand, then obviously the shooting of Tupac and things of that nature. Mr. Davis said that Davis and Anderson were upset after the casino's attack on Anderson, but they weren't going to strike back with so many police officers around that they would have struck back once they returned to Compton.
So he indicates to you that he's angry enough to do it. It's just he planned on doing it back in Compton, which instead of in Las Vegas.
Yeah, if they were, apparently it was because of police presence in the area, something of that nature.
I'm not going to go through all the rest of this. The jury can read sort of the rest.
He kind of throw him off at this point.
Let me just check the very bottom.
Yeah.
Nah, we would have did in Compton.
Well, thank you, Agent. That completes my questions.
Okay.
That first proffer, I don't know if they
Mr.
needed
Sam's
that.
cross-examination.
Yeah.
I don't know if they really needed to show that. Because all they did was just expose
No
him
longer
to-
special agent.
Maybe
or
they
still
did that,
special
so
agent?
even if he do beat it, they could just put, you know.
Either way is fine.
Yeah, that could be some real strategic shit.
Yeah. You got to beat the streets now. 'Cause we didn't.
We'll stick with Special Agent Lee. Okay. All right. Now, sir, fair to say, working for the FBI would have been something of an honor, I would imagine, working for an organization like that.
Yes.
Fair to say, of course, that working for the FBI, I would imagine that other people would consider that to be the creme de la creme of investigation throughout our entire country.
Yeah, some people would consider that, yes.
You put on seminars for law enforcement agencies throughout the country to help them with their investigative efforts, to help them become better police officers and detectives, fair?
You're talking about me specifically?
No. Well, you as the FBI.
Oh, okay. Yes.
And with regard to that, have you ever gone to Compton Police Department to learn how they do their investigative techniques, make yourself or your agency a better agency, or yourself as a better special agent?
I'm sorry, could you repeat?
Have you ever gone to Compton Police Department to see how they do their investigations to become a better agent yourself?
No, I did not.
All right. And once again, with regards to what you do as the FBI, you're very specific in your task, right? Your task is whenever there's a violation of federal law, for instance, you're the agency that would be tasked.
I'm sorry.
That's right.
Yeah.
With regards to federal law, if there's a violation of federal law, you're the agency that typically would be tasked with the investigation, right?
Right.
Now, we talk a little bit about the 302s in this case. And a 302, just for the jury's edification, when you say it's sort of a means, it's really just a piece of paper and a pen, right?
It's a report.
Right. And so you are writing out what your impressions or recollection was of a specific event or time, right?
Correct.
So if you're sitting in a room and we're having a conversation, you would note in your report who's in the room and what your impressions were of what was said and who said what, right?
Right.
Now, of course, juries here would be curious. You know, we have recorders now back in 1996, 1998 in this case. Recorders were available to the FBI, but of course, that's not how you do your job.
The use of recordings for the FBI they were not standard policy and procedure for the FBI at that period of time.
Yeah, and you've retired since what, 5 years ago?
Yes.
During that time period, has it changed in terms of that policy with the FBI?
During the time period that I've been retired?
Right. No, up until the time that you retired, has the policy changed?
The standard procedure is no, not to record.
Right. And so as a result of that, any recording that's done is typically not what the FBI does, right? You still focus on pen to paper recollection onto a 302.
Yes.
Okay. And so in terms of how you do it, the 302s that we read or at least saw put into the record is the work that you recall, your partner recalls during the course of an investigation.
Of that event, yes.
Okay. Now, in terms of the
He think he about to fuck with a federal agent's credibility.
task force here, you
Saying,
we
like,
talked a little about the
this
task
is
force
your own
project.
personal
Safe Street, is that what it
recollection.
was?
Like, you guys didn't record none
Yes.
of this.
Yes.
You guys are saying he said this.
Can you tell the
That's what
jury
he's
a
trying
little
to
bit of
say.
what that project was about?
I don't
Safe
know if
Streets
it's gonna
Task
work
Force.
still,
Yes.
but that's what he's trying to
So
say.
it's a compilation of
It's a good angle to
multi-agencies
try it.
directed to
mad at the
address
niggas for
gang activity within specific areas. So the Safe Streets Task Force initiative is a national initiative, but then there are fundings and directives that are sent to specific areas to address areas of high crime committed by gang activity.
Okay, and I would imagine gang activity would include violent crimes,
Correct.
as well as, say, in this case, drug dealing,
Drug trafficking, yes.
as long as it's associated with gangs.
Yes, primarily so, yeah.
Because of course you do have the DEA that also runs their own investigations as well.
DEA, ATF, yeah, we work with.
Now, in terms of your about this task force, can you tell us at the time when you were operating on it, who was on the task force?
Oh, I mean, there were several agencies in terms of specific agencies.
Well, just in terms of your working with other people, do you recall at all who it was that was working on the task force with you at that time?
Well, there were members of Los Angeles PD. We've had, I believe there was ATF. So there was multiple aspects of the task force. So different squads had different elements working depending on.
Let me walk you through how to research that video. I'll pull two references up side by side with split screen. I pull
Compton PDs, LA County Sheriffs, LAPD, DEA, ATF. I believe he even had postal inspectors that might be involved.
You gotta say, how come somebody else
myriad of different agencies.
Sure.
Approach
Can
him
you
and
tell
they
us
that
who
could have
from the
recorded him?
Compton Police Department was part of your task force?
Our specific task force, the squad that I was on, Mr. Holiday, we did not have an element from Compton PD.
Why was that?
Because we were working in an area that was in Watts, in South Central Los Angeles. So we had LAPD elements, LA County Sheriffs.
So one of the things that we saw today was that one of the individuals that potentially was somebody of interest, I would imagine to you, was a police officer from Compton by the name of Reggie Wright Jr.
Well, he was a former police officer. There was Reggie Wright Sr., who was his father.
Okay, so your work in Inglewood and this other area, I would assume that information with regards to Reggie Wright Jr. would have been sent to whoever it is that was working that particular area of LA?
Or of Compton. There was a different squad that was working Compton. Yes.
Can you tell us who that squad was?
What do you,
who was in that squad?
Yeah, the agents or, to be honest, I don't, well, I mean, some of the agents I recall.
Do you know who that you can recall that was there?
At that specific time, I'm not sure. There was an agent, Elliot.
Michael Elliott?
Yeah, he worked down there, yes.
And I don't want to strain you a little bit here.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
So, and
for clarification, because over that time period, agents will change squads and things of that nature. Like I left the gang task force in 2003, and squads would move and change objectives. So who was working at that specific time? There may have been somebody at one period and then it changed or whatever over the course of time.
And would it be fair to say, of course, that something like this, if you really need this information, you would refer to a 302, to refresh your recollection if you have it? Okay. Now, in addition to that, though, in terms of your role here, there was a proffer session that was conducted with my client, with Mr. Davis.
Yes.
And that proffer was set for July 16th, 1998. That's the exhibit. I don't know. I think it's that one right there. That's correct. Up in the top right-hand corner, do you see the date?
That was the date of the report.
Right. So it'd be dated.
It was
July
actually
16th.
July 14th.
Oh, July. Okay, so even though the date says 16th on this, it would be the 14th.
Yes. Well, so there's a little bit like, the date of the 16th is the date of the report. Down at the bottom, where it says 7/14/98, that's the date of the actual activity.
Okay, and you're meeting with Mr. Davis, and specifically, you're meeting with him in terms of under the task force, which was gangs and whatever they're doing that's crime related to gangs. Is that what we're doing at this point under the Safe Street Task Force? Okay. And so when you meet with Mr. Davis, there was an understanding at that particular point that whatever you're going to tell us, we're not going to prosecute you for. Is that what was happening on that date?
Under the proffer agreement, yes.
Okay. And that proffer agreement, of course, does require the approval of the United States Attorney's Office that would be responsible for that area, right?
Yes.
And in this case, that person would have been Assistant United States Attorney Michael Terrell.
Right.
Was he present for that meeting?
Yes, he was.
Okay, so it's you, your partner, another FBI agent, as well as Special Agent Michael Terrell.
Assistant United States Attorney.
I'm sorry, Assistant United States Attorney Michael Terrell. And in that meeting, there was an understanding between Mr. Davis and his attorney that whatever was going to be said was not going to be used against them.
Unless he came out and testified and said something that was contradictory to what he said in the proffer agreement, yes.
Sure. Now, once again, we're talking about the federal government here, right? So was there an actual proffer that was signed by the parties indicating the understanding that you're telling us right now in terms of what was the terms of the agreement?
My recollection is that there is, but that's maintained by the United States Attorney's Office.
Okay. And since we're talking about that particular proffer here today, fair to say that would be relevant information that we should be considering?
Would you
Objection
repeat that?
to the form of the question calls for legal conclusion.
Okay, sustained if you would rephrase.
So I want to make sure I'm clear here. We are talking about a proffer. You're telling us that there is an actual writing, a contract of some sort between yourself and Mr. Davis with regards to that proffer. Do you have a copy of it here today?
That's not between myself and Mr. Davis. It was between Mr. Davis and the United States Attorney's Office.
Okay. And once again, do you have a copy of that here today?
No, I do not.
Now, in terms of your understanding of this agreement, Mr. Davis gives an agreement, and in the agreement, I'm assuming the idea behind it is that he has to give you truthful information, right?
Correct.
And if there's no truthful information, then he's exposing himself to a potential crime in which he's now freely admitted to it, right?
I'm not sure I understand the question that
So-
you're asking.
Here, I don't want to break it down for myself because maybe I don't understand. So a proffer agreement promises the person you're interviewing that we're not going to prosecute you for what you're telling us.
Right.
If the person's lying and you catch them lying, then technically the proffer doesn't count anymore because they violated their terms of the agreement. Is that how that goes?
If they like during the agreement?
During the
during the proffer session.
Right.
So that doesn't necessarily the benefit is for consideration for plea bargaining and sentencing consideration. So if the individual who is being interviewed during the proffer session shows a lack of candor, lies, and things of that nature, then the consideration for a plea bargain, plea agreement will be to that defendant. As far as using it against them, it's still the proffer agreement terms as far as using that information against them in that case in chief on that charge, we would still not use it. Does that make sense?
Sure. I mean, I just want to make sure it makes sense.
Right. Okay. So So one of the things about the proffer agreement is it's, as I said earlier, was to set up or it's the beginning of a sort of plea negotiation period. So we go to Mr. Davis, we say, you come in, you tell us the truth. We won't use it against you in this case or whatever, regardless of what you say. And the United States Attorney's Office will take that information, determine how useful, how valuable it is. For example, not in this case, not necessarily in this case, we've had individuals who provide information and then they actually go on to become cooperating witnesses for us. They're willing to testify in case against other co-defendants and things of that nature. All of that gets utilized in determining the sentencing for that person and for reducing their sentence on that federal charge. As you're suggesting, if an individual comes in and they're not truthful, they're providing us information that we know is factually inaccurate based on our other investigation surveillance. Report that to the United States Attorney's Office, and they would take that as far as the sentencing that they would offer for the plea agreement. They would say, well, your client hasn't been forthright and candor. We're not going to reduce it at all.
Did you do that in this case? Was there any recommendation from you or your partner back to the United States Attorney office, and specifically to AUSA Michael Terrell, that said, hey, Mr. Davis is not being forthright and truthful with regards to his July 14th, 1998 statement?
I did not specifically do that. Whether or not Mr. Holliday did, I'm not aware.
Now, let me ask you this then. So he gives a statement, and I want to make sure we're clear. You listen to what Mr. Davis says. Did you ever verify the information in here specifically about allegations of Tupac Shakur's murder?
Verify in terms of what?
Well, for instance, in the document that would have been the year 302 that's dated as of July 14, 1998, there's an indication here, for instance, that at the Las Vegas casino, Davis's girlfriend, and Anderson's girlfriend went up to their hotel room at the Excalibur Casino. Now, once again, this is 1998. The death of Tupac Shakur was in September of 1996.
Right.
Did you ever verify that information with Las Vegas to see if either, and in this case, the 302 indicates is that the room was in Anderson's name. Did you verify that to be true?
I did not specifically, no.
Okay. And then with regards to the way in which he describes, meaning Mr. Davis, how they got to Las Vegas, he says in here that they drove to Las Vegas in a Land Cruiser. Any particular reason? I mean, did he have a Land Cruiser? Was there any verification of that information?
I did not verify that.
Now, in addition to that, he had indicated that Corey Edwards, Kevin Davis, Terry Brown, and Big Dre, or AKA Big Dre, and Wynn had also traveled to Las Vegas. Did you ever verify if any of those individuals went to Las Vegas?
No, I did not.
And whether or not they stayed at the MGM Casino?
No, I did not.
Okay, so once again, for the jury's edification, shooting takes place in September of 1996. You're getting this information from Mr. Davis on July 1998, right?
Yes.
About a year and, 8 months, 9 months, something like that. Now, in addition to that, he had made mention, at least with that first interview, that he believed that Compton police officers had been the ones to have committed that particular act, the crime in Las Vegas, in terms of the shooting of Tupac Shakur.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a yes?
Yes.
And once again, that's just for the
I'm
record.
sorry. Yeah,
okay.
sorry.
And with regards to that, though, sir, did you ever look into the possibility that Compton police officers may have been involved in the shooting of Tupac Shakur?
I did not specifically know.
Okay, and when you say I did not specifically, do you have any personal knowledge as to who in the FBI was responsible for following up with that information?
I'm aware that there were numerous investigations going on. There was Las Vegas PD had an investigation. There were Compton PD, LAPD. There are numerous elements of investigation going on regarding the murder of Tupac Shakur, regarding Mr. Davis, our squad, and what we were investigating regarding the gang activity and the drug trafficking and the charge that he was on.
I'm trying to see that
I did not. I was not specifically tasked to follow up and track that down. Who
He's
did?
basically trying to say there's no way to verify anything that
Fair to
was
say
said.
though, of course, if you are become aware of a crime like that, you would report the information that you have to
Let
whoever
alone
is
did y'all even
responsible
try to go
investigating the
verify it?
right?
Right.
Exactly.
You're not just gonna hold on to that information and just keep it to yourself, right? Or ignore it.
Correct.
So in this case, for instance, you share with us that there were wiretaps that were being done of Mr. Davis's phone during the time period you were investigating. Do you recall that line of questioning?
Yes.
Now, wiretap is not the same as a pen register, right?
Correct.
And just for the ladies and gentlemen of the jury, pen register is just numbers that you just that you keep recording in terms of what number is calling out, what number is being received.
Right.
And then an actual wiretap is when you listen to phone calls where people are talking on the phone without you telling them that you're doing so. Right?
Correct.
So with regards to the information that you received and the phone calls that you had, were there any phone calls at all in which this guy over here, Mr. Davis, somehow admitted or said anything along the lines of that he was either involved in the murder of Tupac Shakur or that he was even in Las Vegas on the day it happened?
So the first part of the question, no, that would be no, there was nothing. Regarding the second part, being in Las Vegas, I believe my recollection is that there was conversation about being in Vegas and coming back to Vegas after the incident, the incident being the murder of Tupac Shakur, but that was it.
Okay, and once again, I don't want to put any real pressure on you. This is 30 years ago.
Right.
So in terms of that kind of information, that would have been at least given to somebody that would have been interested in knowing whether or not, Dwayne Davis was in Las Vegas at the time of the shooting of Tupac. Fair?
Yes.
And as far as you can recall, without looking at any notes to refresh your recollection here, that was never done.
Can you repeat that?
Sure. Did you personally ever make any calls to either Las Vegas Metro, LAPD, or Compton PD specifically about, hey, there's information here that Keefe was in Las Vegas at the time of the shooting? Was there anything like that?
So you asked the question and then you said something, then you asked a different. Could you please?
Is that the FBI answer to the question? Let me break it up. Let me break it up. Did you ever make any calls to Las Vegas Metropolitan Police to say, hey, we've got some information here that Dwayne Davis, no. Did you ever make any calls specifically to LAPD to say, hey, I've got this guy on the phone, or he's making some discussions here that he was in Las Vegas at the time of the shooting of Tupac Shakur?
No, I didn't make any calls like that.
And then I'm assuming with regards to Compton PD, did you ever call Compton to talk to somebody like, I don't know, Reggie Wright Sr., the gang guy over there, to say, hey, by the way, one of the guys from your community is saying that he was in Las Vegas at the time of the shooting of Tupac Shakur?
No, I did not.
And I appreciate you breaking that down because I didn't want the jury as well to be confused. Now, in addition to that, you had made mention about the type of volume here, or what the type of volume that Mr. Davis was moving in terms of drugs. I want to make sure I'm clear. What kind of drugs are we talking about?
Cocaine.
Okay. And can you tell us, just in volume, what kind of volume that Mr. Davis was moving at that time?
I can't. I would be total speculation. I'll based off of what was said in his statements to us.
Yeah.
I mean, there was one where he said something, I believe, to the effect of like 70 kilos at one time, or that he was fronted large amount. I'd have to look. May I refer back to the report?
Sure. I know there's one for 60 kilos. I'm just want to make sure the jury understands.
The next evolution of daily performance. Creatine and electrolytes. Creatine builds the energy.
So I get trying to make it
that he received that quantity of cocaine at that time.
Yeah, sure. I mean, confidential informants show up.
Basically, this is a practice run for that second property.
Anything like that. No. So it's literally what he's just telling you, right?
You see what I'm
In
saying?
your
If
302 for
they had this one, then they
With
might
no
got a chance to
verification
get the
whether or
head
not
of
that was true or not.
Might.
In that specific transaction, no.
Sure. Or let me make sure I'm clear here. That specific transaction of 200 kilos is what we're talking about.
Yes.
Okay. Did you ever see or have any understanding of whether he was moving 300 kilos of cocaine every month as a drug dealer?
Did
you ever get any information indicating that he was moving 300 kilograms of cocaine every month?
I did not have that kind of specific information.
Now, in terms of Reggie Wright Jr., was there, I would assume that because it's not part of your area, did you refer that information to whoever it is that was part of the task force that would have covered the Compton area?
That would be most likely, yes.
Okay. And in terms of the Compton Police Department, fair to say that at some point they actually disbanded or they were shut down?
Yes, that's accurate.
And that would have been at what year?
I
Roughly?
don't remember specifically. It was somewhere in the late 90s, I believe, or early 2000.
Okay. And why did they get disbanded?
I don't know these specifics. I know there was numerous allegations of corruption and such and things like that in the department. Organizational, structural deficiencies.
Your Honor, may I have a brief moment?
Yeah.
He got the nigga to admit that the department was closed down due to corruption. So I see where you're going now.
Yeah, he's trying to
Shared a little
dismantle
bit about
top to bottom.
the next time that you meet Mr. Davis, and that was at the prison.
Correct.
And it's you and your partner still, Special Agent Holiday.
Yes.
And you go to that meeting, and he's sitting down having a conversation with you, right?
Mr. Davis, yes.
Yeah. And I want to make sure I'm clear. How much did you actually arrest him with, in terms of the cocaine that he had? I mean, I'm.
Fuck, man. Yeah, I don't know. It's just doing that. I think it's so many people watching that shit.
Yeah.
Assuming at some point he gets caught.
Questions after the delivery, and then there was even discussion. What kind of prompted more of the discussion? There was the two individuals had Mr. Davis and the other individual had a discrepancy over the quantity, the actual volume of the amount of cocaine.
Okay. And outside of that, nothing to your recollection. It was more specific about anything to do with cocaine. Like, he never actually got caught with it. He was just having conversations about it.
Yes, that's correct.
Now, in addition to that, when you're part of the task force, you are looking for potential issues with regards to violence. Is that correct?
Yes.
And in this particular case, had you ever come across any information in your wiretaps or anything like that of Mr. Davis putting out a hit on someone or green lighting some type of violent act to be caused against somebody?
No.
No. And that would have been part of it would have been maybe an enhancement under the sentencing guidelines in terms of if you're looking at increasing his amount of time, is that, hey, he's also doing something in furtherance of, his self.
Violent activity of that nature, we would definitely.
Right. And in this particular case, you don't have any proof of that at all. No facts to that.
Of him being violent?
Yeah.
That's correct.
Was identified as potentially the leader of the Southside Crips. You recall that? It should be at the end of the second 302 that you had.
Yes.
Now, in terms of that, did you ever verify that information as to whether or not Mr. Davis was lying or not about that?
No, I did not personally verify that.
And so, as of this particular moment, as you're sitting here right now, do you have any facts at all that establishes that Mr. Davis was a shot caller or the leader of the Southside Crips?
Could you repeat that the way you phrased
Meaning, do you have any facts? Do you have something that says he said out on the phone? You know, I don't know what they do. They attended a meeting. I mean, you know, it's like
no. So okay, so I mean, with these gang organizations, there's not like membership cards and things of that nature. It's not like you know they've got a organized org chart of who is the president, vice president, and this and that nature for the most part. A lot of times it is just word on the street, who runs this area, who's in charge. And it's the way we assess that Mr. Davis was one of the leaders of the Southside Compton Crips was the totality of information we'd received from numerous informants, witness statements, and things of that nature,
and
wiretaps and things like that.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Go ahead. You got?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I would imagine that because Mr. Davis was a drug dealer, that you know the money that he was bringing in was probably the reason why he was considered to be a leader in the Southside Crips.
Because of the money that he was bringing in.
Well, I mean the drugs, right? I mean that's
well,
really
the volume of drugs. Yeah, I mean, the leader, the guys who are moving the most weight, the high volume drug sales are going to be generally speaking, the leaders.
Right.
They're the ones that the other guys are going to go to get their quantities and things like that for sales.
Sure. And in this particular case, that's the presumption, right? It's because Mr. Davis was a drug dealer, he would be considered with some status within the Southside Crips.
Well, I wouldn't call it a presumption. Again, it's a totality of statements from other individuals and the information that we got. I mean, it wasn't the fact that he was a drug dealer that all of a sudden alerted us and said he must be a high-level Southside Compton Crip. It was a totality of information from our investigation.
Sure. Now, the word presumption.
The nigga said sure.
What does that mean, by the way?
Presumption that you presume, you're making an assumption.
But it's a little bit better than that, right? Is it the idea there are some facts that support whatever it is that you are throwing out there as the.
That can be the case, yes.
Now, in this particular regard, you talk a little bit about the Lakewood incident, right? It's in your report, I think, and I want to make sure under 302, this would be, and so if you run across it before I do, this would be page 4 of your 302, the date 7/14/98. You see where I'm at? It would be maybe the third, the 1, 2, 3, 4th paragraph down.
The Lakewood, are you referring to at the mall?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah.
That's right.
Okay.
In terms of your presumption, the idea of the presumption, you're telling us that there is some facts that help you to have that presumption, right? Some facts. Can you tell us what facts you have to support that there was even a Lakewood incident that occurred?
I'm sorry. You're asking what facts?
Sure.
We have several witness statements.
Okay, so you have several witness statements.
If you're sometimes a student, sometimes a caregiver, sometimes told in
a bunch of shit he know they don't have right now.
You are aware that those.
Yeah, I see what he's doing.
Right yourself.
It might be working too.
This was a couple weeks before the murder of Tupac Shakur. Marcus, who lived at the Southside Crip neighborhood, was in a mall by himself. A number of Blood Street gang members attacked Marcus and they began beating him. When Anderson and others approached the situation, observed what was happening, and went to the aid of Marcus. They beat up the Blood gang members. That's what you wrote in your threads, right?
That's for prisoner.
Yeah. Now, in terms of that information, did you ever go to the mall to verify that there was this thing that happened a couple weeks before the murder of Tupac Shakur, which would have been sometime in August of 1996? Did you ever do that?
No, I did not.
Now, in fairness to you, sir, Lakewood Mall in that area is governed by a police department. I don't know, is it Compton or is it the next one over? I'm not sure.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been Compton.
Okay. So where was the next one? Did you ever at any point reach out to that police department and say, hey, can you get us the information on this so we can verify it before we put it into our 302? That a couple of weeks before the murder of Tupac Shakur, there was a beating that took place. Did you ever do that?
Okay, so your statement regarding doing it before we put in that was information that was provided to us by Mr. Davis. So at that time, we're just recording what Mr. Davis is telling us.
Sure.
So this is a follow-up investigation on that.
Sure, but the state has now introduced this document in as an exhibit for the jury to consider. You're telling us that you can't verify the information in it?
I'm telling you what Mr. Davis told us.
Okay, but you cannot verify that information. You're telling us right now you didn't verify the information that he told you.
I didn't verify that specific event.
Okay. Do you know if your partner did?
This nigga still gonna keep digging in on it.
Look, because he low key getting defensive now. I'm just telling you what he told me.
Referring to Mr. Holiday?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't want to speculate yes or no.
No, and I appreciate you doing that. I don't want you to do that either.
He's cooking. I don't want you to speculate either.
Okay. Now, Mr. Davis is in prison during this time. At some point in the future, you had mentioned that he was in there April 20th, 1999, something like that?
During the second interview. Yes.
Right. Now, did you at any point ever look at his, while he was in there, how he was doing, anything like that? Any write-ups he might have had while he was in there, anything like that?
From the penitentiary?
Yeah.
No, I did not.
And then finally, just one final thing here. There was some mention in your 302, and I apologize for bouncing you back, but I'm taking you back to the July 14th, 1998 302. But in that 302, there was an allegation, or at least some information that you documented that stated that Reggie Wright Jr. Was dealing drugs out of a auto shop called the Untouchables Auto Shop, owned by Melvin Hurd. Do you recall that? That's actually on the top of page 4.
Yes.
Do you know why that's important and why you included that in your 302?
Well, activity regarding Reggie Wright Jr., Reggie Wright Sr., these individuals in Compton, things like that would have been important. They were being documented. Mr. Davis provided us that information. So again, this is also information that would be utilized for for consideration by the U.S. Attorney's Office and things like that. So all of the information is important.
I have no further questions, Your Honor. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Any redirect, Mr. Stucco?
Just briefly, you have both of those.
Yes.
302s in person, right? So let's start with the July 14th, 98 one. It specifically says in the first paragraph, also, it was understood that the information provided by Davis during the interview would not be used by the FBI in a way which would disclose to individuals outside the FBI that the information came from Davis.
Correct.
So other FBI personnel may have learned about this, but certainly you wouldn't be calling Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department and telling them, hey, guess what Dwayne Davis just told me?
That's correct. Yeah, there's a confidentiality portion of the proffer agreement that this is it's offered in a way to elicit information. It's saying, hey, what you tell us here is not going to be told to anybody, and we won't divulge that you're the one providing this information, and things of that nature.
And you're there talking to him, in your case is about a drug case. It's not about Tupac Shakur. That just happens to be a subject that comes up in the conversation.
That's correct.
It's not your responsibility. Well, let me ask this. Tupac Shakur is killed in the state of Nevada, the county of Clark. Who prosecutes murder cases usually for street level shootings in Clark County?
That would be like Las Vegas Metro PD, the DA's office here in Las Vegas.
The state of Nevada. It's not a federal crime to commit a murder in Las Vegas in most situations.
That's correct.
And so you're just gathering this information, and
you did what you promised, which was keep it confidential until such time as you were authorized by the U.S. Attorney to talk about it. The only other thing I want to ask you about is Mr. Sampt there is a difference between proffer and immunity. Is that correct?
That is correct.
What Mr. Davis was telling you, you wouldn't use against him, correct?
Correct.
There wasn't any sort of immunity for any crimes that he disclosed. You just couldn't use the statements that he made to you to prosecute him for those particular crimes.
That's correct.
And that was an agreement between the United States Attorney's Office and Mr. Davis.
That's correct.
At no point in here did the state of Nevada, the Clark County District Attorney's Office, or any agency other than the U.S. Attorney's Office make an agreement with Mr. Davis about these 302s.
That's correct.
Nothing further.
I don't see what that
Cross
means.
based on that, Mr. Sam.
I don't know if that helps because
I'm sorry.
I thought the U.S. the U.S. attorney
So
was
you're
over everything.
telling us, you're giving us
Federal
information
attorney,
right
you
now
know?
about your knowledge of
Yeah, but
other
what he's saying is, since it was
agencies
confidential at the time,
done or not.
they didn't make no
How
agreement
do
to
you know
not
that?
move forward in charges.
I didn't give that information. I didn't say that.
So can you repeat that last question?
We don't have
All right.
that
Well,
capability. We can
let me-
pause and show you.
No, that's all right. I just want to get to the point. What Mr. DiGiacomo just asked you was that, there were no other agreements with regard to your agreement. Your agreement was the sole agreement between yourself and Mr. Davis, or FBI and Mr. Davis, and no other.
United States Attorney's Office.
I apologize. The United States Attorney's Office and Mr. Davis, and no other entity. Right? I think that's how it was put.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
You don't know that though. Did you when you? What?
Sustained stricken. You can ask a question.
You are not aware of any agreements between with other agencies because you just don't know. You are just here on behalf of the federal government and the FBI, right?
With regard to the interview that myself and Todd Holiday conducted with Mr. Davis on July 14th, 1998, the agreement was between the United States Attorney's Office with the FBI there and Mr. Davis. Nobody else was party to that.
Even though this was a joint task force, this was part of
No, it was a joint task force. It was the United States Attorney's Office, the FBI, Mr. Davis.
Okay, and with regards to that task force, even though other government agencies were potentially involved in the task force, they weren't involved.
We have created an ideal combatant to be deployed against the demand.
They weren't part of the.
What that was. That
what
was
you're saying, even though it's part of the task force.
Correct.
Okay. No further questions. Thank you.
Anything further, Mr. DiGiacomo? Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, any questions for this witness? We do have some.
I don't know, man. I feel like he had him in the first half, but I think he might have lost in the second half, man.
Boy start cooking. He starts saying shit. Hold on. So this is agreement that only the you and the it's because he left something on the table. He that's why old boy was even able to rebuttal that.
All right, a couple questions from our jurors. If the proper information was never followed up on, what was the motivation behind the interview in jail or prison?
Oh, you want go ahead.
Yeah,
Okay,
so they have these questions. I'm asking you to answer them.
Okay, so the the motivation behind the interview in the subsequent interview in '99. We were following up on other investigation. Because when you go through the 302, you see we asked about several individuals, and we actually showed them pictures of other individuals. A lot of times what we'll do is we were going back because he was cooperative and open before. We were attempting to see he would verify other individuals, perhaps identities and things of that nature of other investigative activity regarding gang activity in the area.
Okay. And then did anyone with the FBI verify information given by Davis in the proffer?
I mean, the total regarding the totality of there was quite a bit of information when we asked about certain individuals and things that he said that we already knew. So because he provided information during the proffer session, there wasn't a need to necessarily go back and verify because we had an idea about the answer to the question. Sort of like you ask a question that you know the answer to, that's how you know if somebody's lying. You start off with that, things like that, simple things, and then you kind of work your way in to other information. So there was a lot of information that we already had other corroborated information on. So when he's providing that information, we have a general idea whether or not he's being open and candor and truthful based off of other investigation, whether it's surveillance, wiretaps, witness statements, and things of that nature.
And you might have already answered this, that's the second part of the question, so I'm going to ask it. What information was followed up on by the FBI that was given in Davis's proffer, if you're able to disclose it?
What
information was followed up on by the FBI that was given in Davis's proffer that you're able to disclose?
So, I mean, it's been 30 years. It'd be very difficult for me to follow up on every single aspect. Again, a lot of the information, because it's historical, some of these things that he's talking about went back several years prior to into the early 90s period. So he's talking about, prior drug transactions and things of that nature. Is very difficult or almost impossible to truly verify those types of things. Other things that he talked about, for example, like recordings that were played or photos that he was showing of individuals where he identified and said, this is so-and-so, that corroborates what, individuals that we know and things of that nature. So there were things that were done. Was there a specific checklist, a tasking list that was put out after that interview? Proper interview to go out and say, go verify. That's the point. He was already indicted, arrested, and basically going towards either trial or sentencing. The proffer agreement really was an opportunity for him to help himself on sentencing, and then for us to maybe, if he wanted to cooperate and things like that, to possibly open up further avenues of investigation for other individuals who weren't in custody or that were still under investigation.
All right, Mr. DiGiacomo, any follow-up based on those answers and those questions? Mr. Stamp?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, all right. You are free to go. Thank you so much. Sorry. Just leave them right there. Mr. DiGiacomo will pick them up.
I'll grab them. Thank you.
Are those our exhibits? Okay, perfect. Yeah, for sure. All right, statement call the next witness.
Darren Dupree.
Your Honor, before we do that, maybe a question.
Sure. All right, at this time we are going to take a restroom break for 15 minutes. During this recess, you are admonished not to talk or converse amongst yourselves with anyone else on any subject connected to the trial, or read, watch, or listen to any report or commentary on the trial of any person connected to this case by any medium of information, including without limitation, newspaper, television, internet, radio, or form or express any opinion on any subject connected to the trial until the case is submitted to you. We'll have you guys back here at 3:15. Please rise for the jury. clerk of the jury executive room will be in recess.
We ain't miss shit. I ain't miss shit.
No, they just on the recess.
How long is the recess?
15 minutes.
As they said. All right, we're gonna end this live and then we're gonna take a recess.
Yeah.